Hi, everyone. This is Uri, co-founder of DocuPanda. We're going to do this short tutorial to see how you can leverage DocuPanda to solve what I think is a very neat little problem, and one that costs a lot of money if you use, for example, AWS, and doesn't work nearly as well. So let's get cracking. Our goal here is to redact information, personally identifiable information from PDFs. So we call it PII. PII is stuff like social security numbers, account numbers, addresses that identify the person that we want to protect, tax identification, basically anything that is sensitive and you don't want other people to know about you. So probably the address of the bank that is servicing me is not PII, but my address is definitely PII, and my full name, and definitely my account numbers, stuff like that. So before we do anything with DocuPanda, let's take a look at the competition, right? Let's draw some inspiration from what other people are doing. So I Googled detecting PII, and the first result I got was AWS service that only works on English and Spanish, and only works on plain text documents. So if you have like a PDF, if you have an image, if you have a scan, won't work, right? And DocuPanda, in contrast, can identify information regardless of language and regardless of layout. So I've gone ahead and just pulled down their list of known PII types and asked GPT-4 to come up with more generic things, because they sort of like assumed that stuff is either, specifically AWS access keys. No, we want to protect any access key, not just AWS. There's a lot of stuff here that's overly specific. So I just, copy pasted this little text and asked GPT-4 to, give me a list of typical PIIs. And now all we need to do is teach DocuPanda about our plan. So DocuPanda, as you know, is document focused. So before we do anything else, we want to upload some documents with PII in them. And this is kind of tricky, because now I'm doing a video where I have to show you like what documents are in question, but I don't want to show you documents with PII. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and manually, this is not DocuPanda or Amazon, this is me manually redacting the sensitive information in my Bank of America statement. So you can see there's probably my full name is here, the account number is probably here, and again, my full name and my wife's full name is also here, and address is somewhere here. So you have little glimpses of my address if anybody's very keen, but hopefully I've protected my identity enough. So I've gone ahead and pulled down 8 documents and images that contain my personal information, social security number, stuff like that. And I've gone ahead and uploaded all of them into DocuPanda. If you're watching this video, you might already know that you can just hit upload and get those documents in there. So now comes the good stuff, right? Now we want to talk to DocuPanda and teach it about what we mean by PII. What do we want to get? So let's think through this problem for a moment. DocuPanda can find stuff, and later it can tell you where that stuff is visually inside a document. So what we need to focus on right now is to explain to DocuPanda what is the stuff that we're trying to get. So let's call it PII schema, not very imaginative, but hopefully a serviceable name. And let's take a look quickly. Hang on. So let's take a look quickly at the list of PII types that I've already pulled down with a bit of GPT-4 hacking, stuff like address, API key, etc. We want to explain to our AI our plan. So let's just go ahead and explain to DocuPanda what we're after. So you need to extract the PII items in this document. For every occurrence, I can't spell. Occurrence of, no? There you go. Of PII data, quote, its exact value and page number. If multiple occurrences have the same value, repeat them. So this is just in case, let's say my full name is mentioned multiple places. We wanna have one for each. Okay. So now examples of PII types. Oh, also classify the PII type. See list below. Okay. Now let's just paste this list of PII types. Boom. Okay, let's think about it. Is that all we want? We want to know what's the PII value. We want to know the type. I think so. Let's hit next. I've selected all my documents, so this will take a little bit of time. We can just hit submit. And what DocuPanda does now is it goes over all the documents I've uploaded and tries to figure out how to build a schema, how to understand these documents in a consistent way. So hopefully it will have, eventually we'll have a list of document types and their, a list of PII types and their values for each of these documents and also the page number. So now that the schema creation is completed, we can go ahead and look at the results that we're getting. So understanding a schema is always kind of hard because it contains a lot of definitions. So you can see here, we have descriptions, we expect an object, which is a list of PII extractions. Each of them have a value, and this part I'm censoring artificially because it contains actual examples of my PII values. It's part of the schema is examples of typical values or example values, and so on and so forth. It's much easier to understand the schema and its performance by looking at the actual standardization results. So let's look at how we extract data given this PII extraction schema. So again, I'm overlaying black boxes where there's actual sensitive PII information for me. And that's good because that means DocuPanda successfully extracted here my actual real home address and here my actual bank account number. But also, there's stuff I didn't bother censoring. And the reason I don't censor this is because it's not an actual PII. This is not my phone number. This is clearly Bank of America's phone number. And, it looks like we overshot, right? Like we gave the instructions where we said phone numbers are PII, but we need to be more specific about, well, only extract something as PII if it's clearly the person in question, right? Not the bank. The bank's phone number is not PII. So let's see how we do that. This is a bit of a intentional omission by me because I wanted to show you how we can improve things in DocuPanda. So an easy way to improve results is to just give guidelines for how to standardize using the schema. Because I think the schema is fine. It has a placeholder for type and it has a placeholder for value. It's fine. All we need is to be more specific about how to extract stuff into the schema. So let's start getting concrete. Let's say only extract values that identify an individual that is the recipient of this document. An individual. For example, the person who is the recipient of a bank statement, or the individual that appears in a Social Security a bank phone number is not PII. Bank, your an address of a merchant is not PII, etc. Only extract PII when you're confident that this is private, personal information. So now that we gave DocuPanda more clear instructions about what's the motivation behind our schema, let's just rerun it. Let's just select our documents again, hit standardize, hit it again. By the way, you can see here that my instructions came through, right? I can edit it again and do a case-by-case custom instructions, but usually you want to have consistent instructions to run repeatedly, and hit standardize all. So this is one of the many tools that you have to fine-tune your results. The other tool at your disposal is to actually edit the schema itself. So, maybe add a field or remove a field. So let's do a concrete example. Let's look at our schema and, let's look at our improve schema step. We could, for example, let's say want to say, let's say age is too much, right? Like we don't want age to be one of the PII items. We can just go boom and then hit save next, and we've created a new schema where age is no longer regarded as PII, right? So, you have a lot of power, not only through standardization instructions, but also through editing the schema itself to to get to the results that you want. So now let's use our new standardization instructions to go again. And hopefully this time we won't get these unnecessary phone numbers in there. So select the same documents, hit standardize all. Pretty quick, we'll start getting some results. My Bank of America statement is it's like 6 pages long, so it's gonna stream in slightly more slowly than the rest of the classification results. Let's take a look at the standardization tabs so we can look at something more exciting than this. Oh, there you go. All done. So let's look at the Bank of America statement again. Great. So now, I'm censoring literally everything because every single item here is legitimately a piece of personally identifiable information, which is my personally identifiable information. So that's great. We're mission accomplished to an extent. We are now able to extract PII. But again, remember, our goal is not only to find a PII, which might be good enough for some use cases. Let's say maybe you're a cybersecurity company and you want to make sure that you're not accidentally storing any PII, or not, not don't have to be a cybersecurity company. Maybe you're like a services company or LinkedIn or Facebook, and you want to make sure that you don't accidentally store people's personally identifiable information. Maybe finding the data is all you need, right? And that's good enough. You can flag it. But again, we're trying to build a slightly more complex product. We want to redact the information from the actual PDF. That sounds like a useful thing to do. So let's move on to the next portion of this guide, which is DocuPanda's ability to review. So we call it review. Basically, a review is just when we launch a review, we ask DocuPanda to physically locate where in the document a piece of information is at. So it's easier to explain this with results than with words. I've launched a review task for my familiar Bank of America statement, and let's take a look at what the results look like. So, ta-da! Okay, so let's take one example. Let's say I click on this PII extraction value of a bank account number. You see DocuPanda automatically scrolls to the section that we think contains this value, right? And again, you guys see it redacted because I'm protecting my own personal information, but the point is now I no longer need to redact it manually. DocuPanda literally gives me the information of where is the stuff that we want to protect. So all we're left to do to build an actual product here is to overlay the XY with height coordinates on top of the PDF.